Hey, what's up everybody? Diggy here, aka the Brooklyn Dame. So this video is about putting conditions on manifestations and the things that we want. This video is actually inspired by an Instagram user by the name of Charlie's Toolbox. She also has a Twitter where she tweets like a whole bunch of stuff and explanations and basically her philosophy about how things should go. So I encourage you to check that out. So yeah, putting conditions on your manifestation. We have to get to the point where when we say we want something, or we decide that we desire something, or we intend to get something, we do it simply because we said so, because we exist. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of times we will say certain things like, oh, and this was actually the Charlie's Toolbox tweet. Somebody had said, oh, I have high standards because I know that I can reciprocate everything that I ask for. And Charlie's Toolbox was like, I have high standards simply because I exist, or something like that. And I was like, yes, like that's something that I've actually been like really trying to get into my own brain. So don't be watching this thinking that, like, you know, I'm above you or anything like that. Like, we all in the crowd together, you know. I just know a little song, and I'm sure that y'all know a little song that can help me out too. But we have to get to the point where we stop putting conditions on the things that we want. Like, okay, you want a big house. Stop trying to explain that to yourself. I mean, it's not like you're out here explaining it to other people why you want something, which you might be doing. Stop doing that. But we are the ones that we need to stop explaining ourselves to. I want this big house because I said so. I deserve this big house because I said so. I feel like our beliefs with this and conditioning our manifestations is because we live in a cause and effect society. And I think I read something about this on Reddit, which makes it all tie in together. We live in a cause and effect society, well, in a world that believes in the cause and effect. You know, I dropped, you know, the milk, so it spilled all over the floor. I did this, so that if this happens, then this is going to happen. So we always have to like put a meaning to something, and we always have to say, oh, this happened because of this. You deserve this because you did this. You don't deserve this because you didn't do this. Like me, I talk about me wanting to get abs and stuff. That's something that I put a condition on. I should be at the point where I can say, I've got abs because I said so and I want to experience this. But my belief system that I have right now is, I didn't work out. I still eat junk food, so of course I don't have abs. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I didn't work, you know, 1,000 jobs, so of course I don't have like $1 million and whatever in the bank. Oh, I don't look like a model, so of course I don't have this dude as my husband. You know what I'm saying? These are things that we tend to do with our manifestations. So we feel like we have to get ourselves to the point where we deserve our manifestation. Like, if you wanted a celebrity significant other or whatever, or a specific person, if your specific person was a celebrity, which is another video I was supposed to do a long time ago, I'll get to it. Been there, done that. If you want a specific person who is a celebrity, there might be a belief in you that you have to look like this, you have to be like this, you have to have, you know, all these particular things in order to be deserving of that person. So let's say you actually do that. You actually do get, you know, get your body the way you feel like it should be, or you get the amount of money that you feel like you should get. Now all of a sudden you feel worthy of this specific person. Whereas somebody just as famous, somebody just as poppin', probably dating somebody that's super regular and was the person that you were before you put in all that effort to get your body and your finances and your looks the way that you thought you needed them to be. I hope you're staying with me. The point of this video is to help you understand that you need to stop putting conditions on the manifestations that you're trying to bring together. You want what you want. The universe nobody cares why you want what you want. That's you doing that, and that's your belief system coming back to kind of sort of bite you. Nobody cares but you. And well, aside from people you might tell and they'll be like, oh well, you probably can't get this. That's why we don't tell people stuff, because nobody knows what they're talking about. Anyway, I talk to myself in the mirror because otherwise I won't get expert advice, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so nobody cares about why you want what you want. You're just being mirrored back what you believe and the things that you're focusing on. If you're focusing on the fact that you don't have this, and therefore are not worthy of that manifestation, even though you think that you're focusing on it, you're going to get back the unworthiness feeling. And that's why I feel like a lot of times when people do somehow get to that end goal, they realize that that end goal actually wasn't the end goal that they thought it would be. They were looking for a means to a feeling, but thinking that that particular manifestation was where they were trying to get to. Are you here with me? Are you still with me? Like trying to get the money, but what you were actually aiming for was a feeling of security. What you were actually aiming for was a feeling of abundance and wealth. But when you got the money, you still kind of felt poor. You know what I'm saying? So we need to stop putting conditions on. Well, what I will say is, even with these conditions, you can use the conditions that you put on these manifestations, because you might not even be realizing that you're doing it. But for a lot of things, we're doing it. Otherwise, we'd have instant manifestations all the time. With the conditions that you're putting on certain things, you can see what it is that you believe. Like if you're saying, I want this celebrity dude to be my husband, but I gotta have, you know, this body, or I gotta have, you know, this amount of money, I gotta look like a model or whatever, you can see that what you're actually going for is validation. That's the feeling that you're wanting, because you feel like, oh, if I got this manifestation with this guy, this famous celebrity husband, obviously I've already gotten the body, I've already gotten, you know, the model face and the money, so people already love me, and you know, I'm acknowledged, I'm respected, I'm important. So those are the things that you need to start asking yourself, like, okay, why am I putting these conditions on this manifestation? Another side to that is when you're doing techniques. Some of y'all be asking me in the comments like, oh, do I have to do this? You do whatever you decide that you have to do. There was a time where I felt like I had to write everything out. I like writing, so it's like whatever, but I only like writing when I feel like writing. Like when I feel like writing, I can write whatever. I don't really feel like writing that much. So after a certain point, I got tired of scripting, because I'm like, I don't feel like writing. That cannot be the only way for me to get what it is that I want. Like, no, I refuse to believe that. And once I made that decision, there has to be another way. That's when I started, you know, being more intentional with my visualizations and my daydreams. I love doing that. That's like my favorite thing to do. I've been doing that since forever. I think we all have, but I'm just gonna speak about me. I love daydreaming. I love visualizing, like all that method acting. That's my thing. So once I started really seeing results, because I was being a little bit more intentional with that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Even that is not a requirement. The main thing you have to do is decide, oh, this is what I'm going to do, and there it is. But depending on where we're at as far as like our consciousness level and like how big we can expand and accept certain things, some people have to use certain techniques, and there's nothing wrong with that. But eventually we want to get to the point where we stop adding stuff on. It's very simple. But because we live in a society that kind of like repels simplicity and praises complexity while also complaining about it, it doesn't really make sense. But we just have to add certain things onto it, which is why some people need religion in order to feel connected to the divine. Some people need to read all these different books. Some people need to do certain techniques because that's the only way that their brain is processing what is going on. You know what I'm saying? But you want to get into the habit, just even if you feel like you have to do a certain technique and you're not at that place where you can just decide that something's going to happen, play with it. Play with different techniques and see what works, or don't do a technique at all and just be like, this is what it is. I'll give you a little example, and I'm kind of calling myself out a little bit right here, but whatever. There's this role-playing game. Oh my god, I can't even believe I'm saying this. Oh, okay, whatever. There's this role-playing game that I play. I've been playing this game for almost 10 years now, and it's called Pop Mundo, right? If you want to, it's text-based, and it's just a whole lot of reading. Like I said, I like reading and writing, so that's kind of like my thing. But yeah, you play the game, you sign on, and you create your own character. Over time, your character can get married, have kids, do all this, build a career, whatever, and you basically connect with other people around the world who also have their characters and choose to interact with you and things like that. So I would say like a week or two ago, my in-character husband this person was like, hey, I'm just giving you a heads up that certain things are going on in real life and I won't be able to sign on, so I'm probably going to be on a hiatus. And let me tell you, 2020 has been crazy basically for all of us, and this game has kind of been like the main thing keeping me sane, because I'm able to kind of just like take myself out of what's going on in here and focus on the game that I'm playing. This game actually also helped me expand my mind onto what is possible for me, and a lot of things that I've accomplished in the character on the game, I've applied to myself in real life, and I've set goals like that, because in the game she doing way better than I'm doing in real life, but whatever. So yeah, so my in-game husband, we gonna call him Mark, my in-game husband Mark is telling me that he's going to be on a hiatus because stuff is going on in real life and that he's not going to be able to sign in. And I'm sitting here like, okay, I understand. That's what I said back to him. But in my mind, I'm like, no, you're going to play. You're going to play because I like playing this game and you're the main person that I play this game with. So you're going to sign in every day like you've been doing, so that when I sign in every day, we can play. So the next day, Mark didn't sign in, and I'm like, no, you're going to sign in. In the game, when the people are going to be off for a long time, they have like these little statuses that they just be like off, whatever, they'll write off on it, so people know that they're not signing in for a while. So in his status it said off. Day 2, I'm like, he gonna sign in today and we gonna play. His thing still said off, he didn't sign in. Day 3, I was like, okay, he gonna sign in and we gonna play, but it's not gonna say off, it's gonna say off/on. So when people write off/on, that means so they might be here, they might not be here, but they're not completely off. Sure enough, 3rd day, it was like off/on. I was like, oh, bet he gonna be on. He gonna take that status away completely and we just gonna play like regular. The 4th day, I didn't even realize it, but when I signed in, he was signed in at the same time, and then we were talking, and then, you know, over time we just kept talking. We were playing the game the way we would regularly play. I didn't even realize that he was basically on all day, and I was signed in, he was signed in, and every day since then he's been signed in, to the point where, you know, he's like, oh yeah, I actually had a conversation with him and he was like, oh yeah, plans changed and I'm no longer on a hiatus or whatever, so I can keep playing. I did that. Like, I did that because I decided that that's what was going to happen. Like, there are things that you can decide are going to happen. You don't always have to do a million affirmations to undo a belief. And at this point, like, some YouTubers be like, oh, well, if you have a belief that you've had for years and years and years, yeah, you're gonna have to take some time and, you know, keep affirming and saying all these affirmations because blah, 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 blah. That's not true. Stop putting conditions on everything. Some people, yes, and for some things, maybe you will have to keep saying affirmations over and over and over. But I know for myself, and it could, like, I know that if it happens to me, it's possible for it to happen for everybody else. I'm not saying it's certain or guaranteed that it's going to happen, but because I did it, I know it's possible that it can happen for you. I said it, I think I said this in another video where I was watching something and the girl said one thing and it changed my perspective on something that I believed for years and years and years. I didn't have to like say affirmations over and over and over and over and over and over again for that to change. That joint happened in a second. It's possible. So let's always keep it open for the possibility that you don't have to do all that. Yes, some people will be doing all that because that's the only way it can register, because that's how your brain is set up. It just be like that. Over time, I think it'll get easier as we start you know, manifesting more quickly and thinking softer thoughts. Like, sometimes I feel like we think too hard of things that are like supposed to be so simple. But like I said, we praise complexity while simultaneously complaining about it. Like, when somebody says it's simple, we were like, it can't be that simple. But it is, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just wanted to make a video about that because it's kind of frustrating. Like there's videos where people are like, well, if you don't believe that it's going to happen, it's not going to happen. And those kind of frustrate me because it's like people are watching you and you're saying something like that and you're putting something in them that wasn't there before, where they go home and be like, oh, well, I don't believe it, so it can't happen. That's a block that you put in their mind because you don't allow for the possibility of something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to speak in absolutes ever because anything literally is possible and there's always a chance that it's different for somebody else. So just keep that in mind. Like, when you're watching YouTubers and things like that, or when you're just deciding that you want to experience something, stop putting conditions on it. Stop. Like, it really can be that simple. You deserve it because you said so. Like, that's how anytime I have those questions in my head and I'm like, why do I deserve it? Because I said so. Because I exist. I'm here to experience things. That's why. So period. Boss up. Show me what's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, prove me right. Prove to me that I do deserve it. That's your job, mind. Your job is to prove to me that I know what I'm talking about, and that when I say I'm gonna get this, it come. Like, that's it. Sometimes I believe 100% that I'm gonna do something. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, it would be nice if I got that. I don't always 100% believe it. I don't disbelieve that it'll happen, because like I said in my previous video, I don't disbelieve anything is possible. Everything is possible. But I don't always 100% be like, oh, this is happening with everything. No, I don't. So don't put no conditions on it. Like, you can get it because you said so. Like, period. That's it. This is a little longer video. Wow. This is a little longer video, but I intend that y'all get the information that you need out of it, because that's what this information is here for. And as always, if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.